Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn how to master Harvard referencing within 10 minutes. And to be able to do that, we are going to first go to the Western Sydney University homepage. From there we are going to click on Library. And we are going to go to Guides. Underneath Guides you have Referencing and Citation. There you can see the Cite symbol. Just make sure that you do click on Harvard Western Sydney University style, and just the first most common reference is a book reference, so let's just select that for this example. Let's choose a book with 2 or 3 authors. Now as you can see, as you scroll down there, you have a format which shows you where everything needs to go. Underneath the format you have actual examples of what it actually looks like in the reference list. And you even have in-text citations, so just some examples for how to include paraphrased evidence within your text, such as acknowledging citations and non-acknowledging citations. And then you have just down here some actual quotes. Okay, so you have acknowledging and non-acknowledging quoted evidence. So it is up to you whether you find it easier to use the format or actual example to copy and replicate. But I think I'm going to choose the actual example because that's actually a lot easier to help you remember where everything belongs. So I'm just going to copy that into a Microsoft Word document, okay? And as you can see here, it's ready for me to play with it. So let's just say we have a guy called Johnson, okay? So Johnson, and his first name was D for David, right? And let's say, there were only 2 authors, so I'm going to get rid of this one here. And just for this example, Johnson wrote a book with a guy called Elliot Smith, right? So Smith is the surname, E for Elliot is the first initial. And just for this example, they wrote the book in 2016. Let's just say the book is called Avoiding Bushfires in Australia. And let's just say the publishers are, for example, Macmillan or something like that. Macmillan Books, for example, make that up. And in New South Wales, there you go. It's already done for me. And I just obviously have to make sure that everything is in black because we don't use color with our referencing. And the wonderful thing about this is that it reminds me that I only need the first letter of the initial for the first name. It shows me where all the commas belong, where all the italics belong, to help me avoid making mistakes. Now the second example I want to show you is another commonly cited piece of evidence, or text type I should say. And that is one of, let's just say, a print journal article, okay? So I'm going to go to print articles here, and I'm going to say journal article 1 author. Now, please note, the only limitation of this method that I'm showing you here today is that iCite does only show you how to cite a journal article for 1 author, right? So we're going to pretty much use the beginning style. If we need obviously more than 1 author, it simply begins like that anyway if we do have more than 1 author, just so you know, okay? So if we have more than 1 author, we'd be copying the beginning of how we reference books, right? But for this example, let's just stick to that 1 author we're given. I'm going to go to the example section for a journal article with 1 author again. I'm going to copy that. As you can see below, you also have examples of what in-text citations look like within the body. That's also very important because between your in-text citations and reference list, that is approximately 15 to 20% of the actual assignment mark before you even begin writing, which is quite significant. So I've just copied that, and now I'm going to paste it into my Word document. I'm going to choose another surname here. This time let me choose the name, let's just say Johnson again, just for this example again. And this time it's Johnson, first name B for Bill, and he wrote a journal article in 2014 called Utilizing Biomass Energy. And let's just say the journal for this example, let's just say it's going to be Journal of Biochemistry. Okay, and let's just say the volume was 21, number for issue number was just number 8, and the pages, just for this example, where the journal article is located, is 122 to 130, just for this example. Now, what's wonderful again about this technique, guys, is that you can see here exactly where the italics belong, where the commas belong, and it really helps me avoid basically mistakes with regards to small pedantic details that often come along with Harvard referencing, such as, you know, do I have, for example, where do I put the first initial for the first name? You know, do I need brackets? Do I need, you know, the whole word volume? Do I need to write the word issue or just number? Is it PP or just P for pages? So all the little questions that you might be asking with regards to that. Now, another commonly cited source or text type is electronic articles, especially when we're talking about a library database article, which is where a lot of your research will be from. So again, I'm just going to copy, okay, this example, and let's just say I'm going to have, let's make it a bit more complicated. Let's just say 3 authors. All right. So, so first name White, D for David. Okay. And Flemington, and A for Aaron. We'll keep that. And the third surname could again, let's just be Smith again, and could be, let's just say T for Tom. And let's just say all of these 3 authors wrote this journal article in 2012. Okay. And let's just say it's the same, let's just say it's a similar article to the one we had at the top. And it's Journal of Advanced Science, for example. And volume 22, number 3, for example, page 12 to, let's just say 19. And the important extra thing to note here with the online journal articles is you need to include when you viewed them. So let's just say I viewed them. I viewed this article on the 2nd of 2nd of April in 2019, for example. That's what I put, because sometimes journal articles do go missing online, and you would have the name of the article, so it would be, let's just say, academic search, whatever database you want to call it. It could just be academic library database. That will all be there from the library catalogue. And you have something called digital object identifier, which is a special number there for the journal article, and that's the extra information you include. So if we were to compare, say, these two, compare these two different references, the only extra thing you would have is that the actual digital object identifier that we were talking about. And when you viewed the actual online journal article, that is the only extra information that you would need. And the wonderful thing about eyesight is that it does help you, remember all the pedantic information and avoid silly mistakes. Finally, another one might be, for example, a print article that is, let's just say, a newspaper article, one author, and this is an example of what it would look like. So if I was to copy and paste that into my reference list, and I can just play around with that with the surnames. So let's just say Smith, first name J for Jack, right? And he wrote something in 2019. I would simply just edit the name of the article, the name of a newspaper, the date it was published, and whatever page reference it was found in. So the wonderful thing about this eyesight tool is it just helps me avoid making mistakes with the pedantic detail that comes with Harvard referencing. Remember, when the reference list you're talking about 5 to 10% of every assignment you do for every subject you do. So that can be a difference between being a pass student and a credit student, or credit and distinction student, for example. So there's definitely easy marks if you just master it. And just remember, of course, that at the end of everything, you really do need to put everything in alphabetical order because if you need to put everything into alphabetical order once you've done all of that, and make sure that your formatting is good. That's probably another 5% on your assignment. And the hardest question I guess students often ask me is, well, what if we don't know what kind of text type it is? How do we know what to click on? For example, is that if it's the video, etc. And it's just a matter of you either playing around with it, seeing which citation would most closely resembles what you've seen, or even better, ask your teacher if you're still not sure. So that's it, guys. I hope you've understood this this short tutorial on how to master Harvard referencing within 10 minutes, and I wish you all the best of luck with your referencing. Thank you.